as these results stack for you, as the quality of your work begins to compound, and as you start to get better, people will start to notice. And when people start to notice, this is when opportunities start to flow in. And this is where it gets dangerous, guys. So you need to be very careful here. Hey everyone, welcome to the Yellow Pill podcast. My name is Miguel Lumapas, and I made my first couple of millions running and growing my own law firm and our real estate business here in the Philippines. I got inspired by Hormozi, so I'm making these videos to document my own business journey, to share some of my experiences with you, and maybe you can take 1 or 2 lessons along the way. Maybe I can share some business insights that you might learn as you try to start your own business and you try to find your own way to success. I want to help especially the Filipino entrepreneurs since I am Filipino, and also because I want to create the content that I want to see or consume online. I noticed these days that a lot of the videos about business in the Philippines don't really teach people how to start, but only teach people how to get rich quick. And I think, guys, that everybody who's trying to sell you off on a get rich quick scheme is trying to make themselves get rich quick at your expense. So I want to be as honest as possible with this podcast, and I want to share with you my own experiences to give you value, and most especially, I want to prove to everyone that you can get rich without getting lucky if you follow the right principles. Okay? So I'm working really hard to turn my millions into billions, guys. I'm making these videos so that I can share my experiences crystallized into lessons with all of you. And I hope that you enjoy watching and hope you enjoy the transparency, the honesty, and the effort put into this video. You're welcome to share my journey with me and to take a few lessons along the way. And if you have suggestions as well, just let me know. So today we're actually going to do a repeat performance of one of the meetings that I had with my lawyers in one of the Saturdays. So we have a Saturday huddle. Every Saturday, we start off with a developmental talk. And in this talk, we try to get everyone on the same level of understanding, especially since the firm is now 7 going 8 years old. And the frame of understanding that we have as 5 of us partners, senior partners of the firm, is not always the same as the frame of understanding of those stakeholders, junior associates that are coming after us, or those who have just recently joined the firm. And we try to crystallize all of our experiences into lessons, easy principles for them to digest and for them to use as mental models as they try to make their own way up the firm. And I always tell everyone, the sooner they get to the level of understanding that we are at as senior partners, then the sooner they can promote themselves to the firm. The whole 7 years of running a law firm and a real estate firm has been one big business experiment for me. We started off knowing nothing about litigation, except basic knowledge of the law, being newly minted lawyers way back in 2016, and we knew nothing about real estate as well. So knowledge and experience in the industry was something that we picked up along the way, and knowledge and experience in business was something that we carefully crafted and curated along the way. We made all the mistakes that we were allowed to make during the time, and contained in most of those mistakes were the lessons that we turned into principles that we now use moving forward. So I shared this with my lawyers and our stakeholders during one of our Saturday meetings, and basically it has something to do with trying to make your way up in the firm, which could be applied to trying to make your first million in business. If I were to start from scratch all over again today, these are the 2 mindset shifts, the paradigm shifts that I would be anchoring all of my efforts on, all of my strategy, all of my tactics on. And confidently I can say that I would still succeed even if I was to start from scratch. So I'm sharing this with you today. Hopefully this will help you get your first million if you haven't already. Are you ready? Let's start. So these are the 2 mindset changes that I want you to adopt. These 2 mindset changes would have the biggest impact for you to earn your first million. It did help me get my first few millions, and as we grow and try to take the millions that we have and turn it into billions, I realized that these are the things that we have to revisit and crystallize and really allow the principles to sink in. So the 2 mindset changes that would have a big impact in getting your first million. But first, I'd like to share a story with you. Our firm has been operating for 7 going 8 years already, And it has been growing in an upward cycle ever since. So you start small and then you go up, and then you encounter problems. It sets you back. You solve the problems and then you go up again. And then you encounter a new set of problems and it sets you back. And you solve those problems, it propels you upward again. So we've been up and down for all of it, for all of the 7 years now. And all that I can say is that the whole experience has been good for me. Failing forward, no. When you're at your moments of discomfort, it usually means that you're on the edge of growth, because growth lies at the edge of your comfort zone. If you're too comfortable, everything's running as planned, nothing is breaking down, then the good news is you are running at the area of your core competence. But the bad news is you're not giving yourself the opportunity to grow. So you need to take moments of discomfort as it is and try to spot for opportunities to grow. And I'm telling this from a very personal note because I really had a shit 2023. Like, I really had a bad year. It was supposed to be one of the good years for me. We started the year doing so well with the law firm and the real estate. We were growing at a good rate up until that point, up until the beginning of the year. And I decided that since we got that far, since we got to that point, then it should have been a good time for me to expand again, to grow. So I added more business lines and I added new opportunities on my plate. I've always wanted to be a politician, and to be very honest, that year, 2023, I was starting to position myself to possibly have a shot at local politics here. And yeah, it took a lot of time. I took a lot of side bets as well. There were small business ventures that would earn a little extra money for me. 20,000, 30,000 on the side. I'd get 10% equity here for free. I'd get share of this business and that business. I was feeling good at the start of the year, to be very honest. A lot of people were noticing the skill that we've had, considering that it's not easy to take a law firm from scratch, take a real estate firm from scratch, and make something out of it. And I think that's something that we've done over the past 6 years. So considering all of the opportunities that I took on, all of the extra opportunities, why did I have a shit year instead of a good year? How could a year that started so promisingly end up so bad for me? In retrospect, it only felt like I was on the verge of winning it all. But in reality, I was on the verge of losing it all. And that was because I was adding too many things on my plate, which was really the cause of all of the problems that I had, all the major problems that I had for the year. Let me explain. So towards the end of the year, I was really feeling like shit. The growth of our law firm plateaued. The growth of our real estate firm went stagnant. We ended the year not on a high note. It was a pretty average year, but average is not good. No, if your company is not growing, then it doesn't mean you're steady, you're going steady. You're actually losing to inflation, because inflation goes up year by year. So if your company doesn't grow or outpace inflation, then you actually lose. You actually end up losing. And spirits towards the end of the year was not very high. The office energy, we weren't really feeling it. A lot of people were demotivated. A lot of people felt lost, felt like they didn't have the guidance of their founders on what was the next step, what was the next challenge for them, what was the general direction of the firm, and were we able to fit everybody's individual plans with that of the firm. So I felt really bad. Personally also, I felt like I wasn't able to deliver up to my own standard. I wasn't up to par. And yeah, it felt bad. It felt bad to second guess yourself, to question yourself, to question your capacity, to question your decisions. It was really a low moment for me last year. So towards the end of the year, December, I started to get back into reading. And I listened to this podcast from Naval Ravikant. There was a strong quote in one of the episodes that he had where he said, "Desire is a contract that you make yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want." And the quote really stuck with me. I think at that time, at that point of time, I was already conscious and aware of the fact that I had too much on my plate. And that was one of the causes of why I wasn't performing so well. So I decided that, going into 2024, what if I desired less things? What if I gave up some of these things in order to be happy? Or in order to be happier, even just a bit, because I was feeling so bad that time. I read on. I spent most of December and January just reading and listening to podcasts about business and, taking insights from other people, how they managed to overcome their own business challenges, and try to get lessons from there. Then in January of 2024, I rediscovered Alex Hormozi, and this is probably one of the best things that has happened in my life so far. Actually, another sub-story there. I'm going to show to you a task list that I had in my Todoist dashboard way back December 15, 2022. Because I'm actually an avid listener of Modern Wisdom by Chris Williamson, and I love Chris Williamson. I love his guests, and he switches between politics and health and business and book authors. And one of the podcast episodes that he had, somebody said, if there's one book that you just need to read, one business book, if you're only allowed to read just one, then it had to be 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And I wrote it down in my Todoist. December 15, 2022 at 6:24 p.m. Read 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. And I was so surprised to find that task list again. 2024. I had just begun to discover Alex Hormozi 2024. I can't believe I had a stuck tip 2 years earlier into the past, and maybe I was too busy at that time, maybe I had too much on my plate, but I just overlooked it. I totally overlooked it, and the only regret that I have right now is not the experience, it's just that it took me an extra 2 years to actually act upon a really good tip from a really good person. So I guess from this point onward, guys, the lesson is that the internet is free, and on the internet is all the information you ever need to succeed. You just need to sift out all of the noise, all of the useless posts and information, and actually seek out the useful information, the information that you need to succeed. Because you might be just 1, 2, or 3 steps away from your own success, from changing your own life, and the information is there, waiting for you to consume it. So that's the challenge for all of us. Anyway, so I did read the book, 100 Million Offers first by Alex Hormozi, and 100 Million Leads thereafter. And since then, since the book is available on Spotify for free, I might have listened to both books 3 or 4 times already each. And I got introduced to the world of Alex Hormozi, and oh my gosh. I'm going to repeat the same advice that I got on December 15, 2022. If there's one business book that you need to read, it would change your life. Change your life. Even if you're not into business, even if you're a professional, even if you're a solopreneur or a tech startup guy, whatever, you have to read, guys, Alex Hormozi. You have to look him up. Look up the guy, look up the work. It's good shit. It's really good shit. So I read the books. And from that, I got a lot of lessons. And these are the 2 mindset changes that I had after reading Alex Hormozi's book. And these are the lessons that I wish I was able to crystallize. It would have taken me earlier than 7 years to get to where I am today, but some lessons take time, and sometimes time is the bill that you need to pay in order to reach the level of success that you have. But if you're starting out today, then the good news is you can learn these 2 lessons for free just by listening, and hopefully you learn the lesson without having to bear the scars. And guys, these are the same lessons that I intend to use to crush this year. Like, I really plan to crush this year. I have plans for the year. I'm going to share them with you in a bit. And yeah, I'm very confident that with these just 2 very simple mindset shifts, we will be able to accomplish all that we set out to accomplish this year. I say that with all the love and all the confidence that I have, considering all the failures that I've gone through. So, okay, first one. The first mindset change that has me winning 2024 already. Like, it's still May, but oh my gosh, it's been a good year. It's been total flip opposite of the previous year that I had. And yeah, it's still May, but we're on track to making the entire profit that we've had for the whole of last year. So we're gonna make it in less than half of this year, and we're probably gonna make more. And all of these things are probably gonna trickle down, hopefully, to benefit the stakeholders and the junior associates coming after us in the office. Hopefully you can inspire them. Hopefully you can support them with the added money that we have. But hopefully they can see that this model works. This framework this framework works. And that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, you will be the one to fight your own battles. We accomplished all this off the back of laser focus. So that's the first mindset change. It's a yellow pill, guys. Laser focus. And I got introduced to the concept initially when I started reading Alex Hormozi's $100 million leads. So in $100 million leads, Alex Hormozi was talking about the woman in a red dress. If you're not familiar, it's reference to a scene in The Matrix where Neo is spending his first day in The Matrix and he gets a tour of the place by Morpheus. And while Morpheus is walking, explaining everything, suddenly a woman in a red dress breaks out from the monotony of the crowd where everybody's wearing suits. So the woman in the red dress just breaks out from the crowd, catches Neo's attention, and while Morpheus was still talking, Neo gets distracted. He actually looks to the woman in the red dress. And as he was looking to the woman in the red dress, Morpheus asks, "Are you listening to me or are you looking at the woman in the red dress?" And then Neo looks back at Morpheus and looks back at the woman in the red dress. And now it's like an agent pointing a gun to his head. So the point here is that most distractions come in the form of easy opportunities. And this is exactly the problem that I faced back in 2023. Because we were doing such a good job with the law firm and the real estate firm, a lot of people wanted to shower us with new opportunities. And these new opportunities, I saw them all as good things, things that could, improve upon the machine, make our lives better, since it would add more sources of income personally into the firm. But it ended up becoming just distractions, little things not worth so much, but compete for your limited time, your limited energy, your limited attention, which are the main resources you have as a person, as a service provider. So what happens is that, and it could happen to you, so you really need to listen carefully to this. As you start to climb in business, your results will continue to stack. If you just keep doing a thing, then every day you get better and better. You start to notice a lot of the nuance, a lot of the little things. You start to develop that expert's eye, the eye for detail that beginners cannot imagine to have. And as these results stack for you, as the quality of your work begins to compound, and as you start to get better, people will start to notice. And when people start to notice, this is when opportunities start to flow in. And this is where it gets dangerous, guys. So you need to be very careful here. You know why? When you start out, you have nothing. So you take big risks because you have everything to gain and literally nothing to lose. Literally nothing to lose. So good advice for starters, people who are starting in business or in their careers or anything. If you're selling, say yes to everything. Be a yes man. Be a yes man. Say yes to every opportunity. If the bill is good, then you get to earn. If the bill is bad, then you get to learn. We always say this to our new guys at the office. Try to prioritize learnings over earnings and let serendipity take its course, because one of those clients would turn out to be big clients and they would appreciate that you're giving extra effort being a newbie into it. And that's how you improve. And that's how you iterate your craft towards becoming an expert. But the funny thing is, you actually grow and grow and grow, and you get to a point where the rules of the game flip. After a certain point, it wouldn't make sense to keep saying yes to new opportunities, and it would make more sense now to start saying no. And this is a lesson that a lot of people do not learn. And that's why they get stuck, that's why they fail, or that's why they become overwhelmed, burn themselves out, trying to catch up and quit. So we don't want that to happen to you. This is what you should do. When you get to that point where the compound interest of your effort, your skill, the time that you have dedicated to your craft start to work, the gears of compounding interest start to work in your favor, then you should learn to start saying no. And you say no because the easy opportunities distract you from the main thing that made you successful in the first place. And at every new level, it gets harder and harder and harder to say no. In the beginning, it might be easy to say no to a 10,000 peso opportunity, but it might not be very easy to say no to a 100,000 peso opportunity. Now, this could be a bad client or service quote that's totally out of your core competence, totally distracts you from the main thing, doesn't build into the business, but it's a new thing all in of its own. You might fall for the 100,000 trap, or you might be able to say no, but can you say no to 1,000,000 pesos? Can you say no to 10 million pesos? Can you say no to 50 million pesos? As you get bigger and bigger, it becomes more difficult to say no, because the woman in the red dress gets hotter and hotter as well. And don't get me wrong, this is not that you shouldn't say no to each and every opportunity, but you should say no to the opportunities that distract you from the main thing. Remember, the first yellow pill that we have is laser focus. That's because if you allow too many distractions to creep in, then it distracts you from your main thing. Let me tell you a story. I have a friend who's one of my business associates. He started a service business alongside with us, and for a couple of years we had this very good relationship because he's so good with his work, so hardworking. He never missed a deadline, never missed a call, and he was so on point. And I started referring him to my clients since he had a different service line that we couldn't provide. And for a while it was so good. All of our clients were happy. All of my friends were happy with the service. And then he started to add some more businesses, totally unrelated to the service line. And then he started to add some more, and then some more. And after 2 years, he probably had 6 new independent, like totally independent businesses. Each one different from each other, totally unrelated to one another. What happened there was, maybe after the 5th business, he crossed a tipping point where he wouldn't be able to answer calls anymore. He wouldn't be able to miss deadlines. He couldn't even collect bills payment sometimes. Sometimes we'd owe him money and the check would be ready at the office and he wouldn't get it for another 1 or 2 months because he'd overlook it. He'd forget. And see, this is the sort of distraction that we wish to avoid. Whatever you're doing right now, you can always become super successful at that. You don't need to be jack of all trades, master of none in order to be a successful person in life. Like, for example, becoming a real estate firm. We don't really need to dip our toes into each and every abstractly related business line or each and every good opportunity, because being a successful real estate firm in and of itself requires a lot of hard work. And how can you, it's vain to say that you can outwork the person who's giving it his all. For example, you have 4 businesses and the guy you're competing against has only the real estate firm. It would be vain to say that you can beat him when you're only giving 25% of your effort and time and skill and capabilities vis-a-vis his 100%, since he's going all in on that one opportunity. So that's why you need laser focus to win, guys. You don't need every opportunity. You can say no to other opportunities. This is actually one of the mindset changes that I had to remind myself, or I had to adjust for this year. This year, I'm going all in on my goals. So what I did was I made a list of the 25 things I want to accomplish in life, 25 to 30. Some of them were business goals, some of them were personal goals, and some of them like just non-business goals, things I wanted to achieve or I wanted to become my whole lifetime. And this is actually an exercise that's, I heard that Warren Buffett prescribed this exercise. So you list 25 to 30 of the things that you want to achieve, you want to become during your lifetime, and then you just eliminate. You eliminate everything until you're left with the top 1, top 3, or top 5 things that you wish to achieve. And everything else, you just chunk it as mercilessly as you can. Trust that it's for your own good. It's not that you don't need to be successful in all those things, but you can't. You just can't. You will not have the energy. You will not have the focus. You will not have the dedication to become the best at 30 different things anyway. So why not pick the top 5? And for context, I have my top 5. I'm going to be sharing it with you today. So I have my priority projects for the year. Number 1, I want to scale the law firm and the real estate firm that we have. So it's LBBF Law and Tierra Pro all the way. I'm going to drop all of my other business interests just so we can have a shot at becoming the biggest and the best law firm and the biggest and the best real estate firm here in the Philippines. That's going to be our main thing, and a lot of our efforts are going to be diverted to achieving that main thing. The second is I wanted to go all in on content this year. And this is why we have the yellow pill. This is why we have this, guys. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And the third one is a health goal. 2 years ago also, I bought a program by Jeremy Athier, and I paid for it but did not get to use it at all. For the first time, it's already May, as almost midway through the year as I'm sharing this. And yeah, I've been consistently going to the gym. I don't know if you can see it, but I've gained a bit. The figure's starting to take shape as well. The body feels good. And it's actually the first year that I've had since forever that I was able to hit the gym for more than a month or 2 months. So I've been hitting the gym. It's my 5th consecutive month now. And yeah, that's my third goal, fitness goal. The fourth goal is to have a proper client onboarding system. This is for both the law firm and business consultancies and real estate firm as well. So to achieve this, I have a social media marketing agency or an SMMA back end I'm trying to accomplish. It's a bit of a stretch from my other goals, but I had the liberty to pick 5 instead of 3, so it's still there on the board. And the fifth one is a family goal. It's a happiness goal. We intend to start our own family this year. So that's why I have to be healthy. That's why I have to be less stressed. And actually, that's why I'm doing all of this. It's because I'm optimizing for the long term. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life as a workhorse, as a slave to my own devices, to money, to capital. I don't want to work my ass off without knowing how to refine, to use the levers, the items of leverage made available to us by technology today, which is a point for another video, but I'll be sharing with you anyway. So leverage is labor, capital, content, and code. And yeah, I want to learn how to use that and put my ease off the pedal a bit. So those are my 5 goals for the year. Everything else that did not fit to those 5 goals, I very happily dropped at the start of the year. So again, desire is a contract that you have with yourself to be unhappy until you get the thing that you want. I no longer desired those things. I dropped them from my list. I made peace that I wouldn't become a politician. I wouldn't become league manager of a very successful league. I wouldn't become part owner of this business and that business. And yeah, I made peace with all of that. And it's been so good for my mental health lately, guys. And it's been so good for the office. Like, the office right now, yes, the energy is back. The direction is there. And we added 10 new lawyers to the law firm this year. And it's been quite the challenge to get everyone on board. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because I want the new lawyers as well to see the thought process behind the decision to expand as a law firm and the new goals that we've set as a law firm. Also, thing is, I wanted to treat myself like an athlete. You see the athletes, guys, they live the best lives ever. They wake up every day and they train. They try to be the best that they can be in their sport. And they look at all the big things and all the small things as well. Like the mind frame, the nutrition, the little things in the day that they can improve on in their technique in order to become more successful athletes. And I think the problem with us knowledge workers these days is that knowledge work is not a sport, by all definitions. We're playing an infinite sum game. There's no defined rules, there's no defined character, there's no winner or loser mechanism. But if you learn to treat yourself like an athlete and compete just against yourself, if you're able to master the discipline, do your work routine every day, wake up early, finish this and that work block, have a wind down session at the end of the day, have time for gym, have time for your meetings, try to improve on your design, try to improve on your tactics, then I think you can become a prolific businessman and succeed in your own business endeavors and, of course, make a lot of money in the process. Treat yourself like an athlete. It's good advice. The concept to wrap our minds around is that everything comes at a price. You want to be successful in life, you have to pay for it. But you don't pay for it in money alone. You pay for it in the things that you are willing to give up in order to achieve your business success. You cannot expect to not give up anything, to not pay anything, and become successful. That's luck. That's get rich quick. It can happen, but if you wait for that to happen, it might not happen to you. So it's not a sure way of getting rich. So you need to pay your dues. So among the things that I gave up this year, I gave up playing video games. I gave up Netflix on weekdays. And I actually made, I don't know if you can see it, I actually listed down, apart from the dreams that I gave up, dreams of politics, dreams of being a part of this and that business, owning passive businesses. None of the business were actually passive because they still take up your energy. And I made a list of things that I ought to give up in order to become successful because I wanted to be successful so bad. So if it means having to give up nights out with friends, then I'm willing to give that up. If it means I have to give up holidays and work during the holidays, I'm willing to give that up. If it means I have to give up sleep just to be able to wake up at the same time every day, then I'm willing to give that up. So everything comes at a price. Success comes at a price. And if you want to succeed in whatever business endeavor that you're currently on, then my advice is have a list of the things that you can give up and you're willing to give up. And have a little talk with yourself. So if you're willing to give up those things in order to become successful. Because you know what's holding you back. You know what's holding you back. But are you willing to give it up to change your life? That's the question you need to answer because I cannot answer that for you. I can only tell you that I am beginning to give up now the things that I have listed down. And so far, it's been a good experience for me. We ask, a lot of us, when we model successful people, we try to ask the question, what is he doing that I'm not doing? You look at the person who you idolize, you try to break him down. And then you realize that, oh, this guy's living, it's quite a normal life. Some people, like even Naval, doesn't wake up at 5 a.m. every day. He doesn't take cold showers and meditates for 30 minutes and then writes down his journal. He actually wakes up kind of late. So a lot of these guys, they seem like normal guys. And it gets you asking, what is he doing that I'm not doing? Why are his outputs so disproportionately tied to the inputs? And I think the question that you need to ask is, coupled with what are they doing that you are not doing, what are you doing that they are not doing? Maybe Naval doesn't get drunk with his friends every night. Maybe Alex Hormozi doesn't spend 2 hours watching TV in front of his couch every night. So a lot of these people, they are not doing things that you are doing, and that's where you need to adjust. Because it's a bit more difficult to do more and more and more, but it's easier to do less and less and less. So perfection is when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. So that's the first yellow pill, guys. Laser focus. And like I said, it's been a very good year so far this year just because of laser focus. Because we focused so much of our energy now and attention to the law firm and the real estate firm, we are doing really well on both ends, on both fronts. And we intend to continue with this same intensity, even more inputs towards the end of the year as we try to master ourselves also. So the second yellow pill, the second mindset shift that you need to have in order to make your first million, or if you're stuck in order to get to the next level, is patient determination. Now, I'm gonna say something and I'm just gonna leave it with you and we're gonna get to the point later on, but I'm gonna plant this in your head now before we proceed with our discussion. Try to make it to stage 4. Okay, you ready? Patient determination. I initially addressed this to my lawyers when I got them in on the opportunity because I was a bit afraid that they might think that I oversold them on the opportunity, that I promised a lot of things, and when they come into the firm, then they're met with challenges and not goodie bags of success. And a lot of them were new, so I was afraid they wouldn't understand. So the base concept here behind patient determination is that success always comes as a lagging result of your efforts. Success always comes as a lagging result of your effort. Read separately in a quote, that I think I picked this up from Chris Williamson. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. You get what you repeat. One of the quotes that I presented during my main presentation is that the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. So effort comes first before results. And this is what I want to impress. You could be doing the right thing, but it would still take time for you to see the results of doing the right thing. So if you're too impatient, then you run the risk or the danger of being disappointed with yourself and shifting to another opportunity or to another mode, just not giving yourself the patient determination to see your initial plan through. And I think this is one of the most important mistakes that you need to avoid in life. Everything takes time, especially when you're trying to build something big. Imagine that you're planting mango seeds on a bed of cotton. The day after you plant the seeds, you'd already see the sprouts. But imagine you're planting an oak tree, an acacia tree. You plant the seed in soil and you don't see the sprouts immediately the day after. You're literally watering a seed in the soil for days and weeks and sometimes even months until you see something. You start to see something. And the point here is that big things take more time to build. So if you're trying to build something big, you need to be a bit more patient with yourself in that build. I'm going to share to you the 5 levels of every good opportunity. And this is a very, very simple concept to get behind, but this shows you why not a lot of people succeed in life. Are you ready? Let's dive into the 5 stages now. The first stage is uninformed optimism. You see a friend doing well online, doing his thing, or you see a family member doing something else, and they seem to be enjoying considerable success with their endeavor, with their effort, with their craft, with their business, with the opportunity that they're taking. And you say to yourself, oh, that seems like a good opportunity. It seems easy. I look at him or her. It's not exerting so much effort, and they seem to be succeeding or enjoying considerable success with the thing that they're doing. So, what do? You follow. You ask them, is it easy to start? And then you jump, and then you start. That's stage 1. Uninformed optimism. You only see the good side of everything. And then when you're in the opportunity proper, you get to stage 2, which is informed pessimism. This new thing isn't as easy as it seems on the outside. It's true, guys, when they say the grass is always greener on the other side. Looking on the outside, you see only all the good things because you don't have the eye, you don't have the experience day to day or the time to be able to look at all of the problems that opportunity has. And once you're in there, you get to stage 2, which is informed pessimism. You get informed of all of the problems and the challenges that opportunity has. And then you're dismayed. And then you get discouraged because it isn't as easy as it seems. Guys, I'll let you in on a little secret. Everything is shit. Everything is shit. There is no get-rich-quick scheme. There is no one opportunity that beats all other opportunities where you don't have to exert so much effort. It's not true that the grass is always greener on the other side. Everything is shit. Everything has its own set of challenges that you have to overcome as a business owner to be able to make it through. And there is no shortcut. You really need to face the problems and solve the problems in order to get to the next levels. And when you're there in level 2, this is where a lot of people get discouraged and they start to question the opportunity itself in the first place. Maybe I wasn't meant for this. Maybe I would have been better off doing something else. Maybe this thing or that thing, and they try to look at all the factors as to why the thing isn't working, but they're looking at it through an external lens. They're looking at all the factors except themselves. What they could be doing wrong? No. It's usually other people look at what's wrong with the opportunity without blaming themselves. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. But they now enter the 3rd level, which is the valley of despair. This is the time where they second-guess themselves. They second-guess having jumped into the opportunity in the first place. And what happens when people are in the valley of despair? Usually, they see another person doing so well with another opportunity, and they think, oh, that seems like an easy opportunity. I can do that. I can just drop this and transfer to that one, and everything will be okay. That seems easy, that seems doable. I think I could succeed. And where does that line of thought take them? Back to the first level of the new opportunity, which is uninformed optimism of this opportunity again. And what happens is that a lot of people, 10 or 15 times in their life, they cycle through the first 3 stages of every opportunity. Uninformed optimism, they think everything's so good, and then they jump, and then they're met with informed pessimism. They're met with all the problems, and they're unwilling, to get their hands dirty, in the mud, untangle the mess. They are unwilling, and they enter the valley of despair. They see another opportunity, and they jump again. That's why a lot of people don't succeed, because they don't see good opportunities through. And to be fair, each of these opportunities could have been good opportunities. But in order to succeed in any one opportunity, you just need to make it to stage 4. And stage 4 is informed optimism. You're now knees deep in the mud of the shit pile of the new opportunity that you found yourself in, but now you're informed. Okay, this is the problem. This is how I'm gonna solve the problem to get a step ahead, to get a step out of this mess. And this is the next problem. And this is what I'm gonna do in order to solve the next problem. So you now see the problems, the same problems that are presented to you in stage 2, which is informed pessimism, but the difference is your mind frame. You're no longer pessimistic about it. You realize that the opportunity is still a good opportunity despite the problems. And it just takes a little bit of nurturing, a little bit of work, and a lot of time. This is the oak tree of the success that you have planted. Stick by it. Stand by it. Pay the dues in time, in effort, and everything else that you need to pay in order to make sure that this plant of yours blooms into a success tree and a money tree. And that is stage 4. Because once you're in stage 4, which is informed optimism, then you're done. You're on cruise control. You're on your way to winning. Just a very simple thought, guys. But this is why not a lot of people succeed in life. It's because they don't see themselves through. They get carried away by all these new opportunities. And that's why you need to pair this with laser focus. Because as you get to stage 4 and as you're cruising your way to success, then the offers start to come in. And that's where laser focus is important. Because as the offers start to come in, make sure you say no to the woman in the red dress. So before I end the video, I want to leave you with the final quote from Hormozi. In one of his talks, he said, "A smooth sea never made for a skilled sailor." So it just means that if you want to succeed in life, you actually need to seek not the easiest path to get from point to point without the struggle, without the learnings, but you need to go out there and seek the challenge, seek the discomfort, and simmer in the discomfort until you find the lesson. The way I spent a lot of time with my 2023 result until I was able to come up with these 2 lessons that I'm sharing with you right now: laser focus and patient determination. So keep in mind, guys, a smooth sea never made for a skilled sailor. So you want to become successful in life? Yes. Then you should all wish for storms. Thanks for listening, guys, and I really wish you well on your journey to make your first millions and to take your first millions and hopefully turn them into your first billions as well. We are playing an infinite game, and in an infinite game, all of us can be winners. If you're anything like us and if you enjoyed this video, please consider joining the Yellow Pill Society on Skool. I leave the link down below in the first comment. Quick request, guys, if you enjoyed watching, can you please click on the like button and just leave a comment, any comment, to help the YouTube algorithm spread this video to those who are like us. And we'd want to connect with you. If you want to continue on watching, you can start with this video over here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can subscribe to this guy over here. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next Yellow Pill. Bye.
If you had my eyes to see what you